face, YouTube Live today. Thank you very much. My name is Lamin Tamba. As always, I'll introduce myself before the program kicks off. So, I am coming live on YouTube today to discuss the current political situation in the Republic of the Gambia. And Gambia is in a very funny political position right now in terms of governance. So, thank you very much for tuning in. Before we go any further, I would like to basically make people aware that I'm just about to discuss this program on YouTube because I tend to do it on Facebook Live usually. So if you bear with me for a few seconds, I'll put something together and then we can kick this program off. All right. So again, I come here because I'm a concerned Gambian citizen. I'm going live on Facebook. Let me see if I can put this video on landscape. So guys, give me a second, please. See if I can put this video on landscape. Might be better. No, actually leave it as it is right now. I'm happy with the orientation of the video. So just bear with me. Give me a second or two. All right. I'll start the program in a few minutes. Okay, for those of you tuning in, thank you for tuning into my YouTube live. I appreciate it. So give us a second, please, so I can get this up and running, get the content ready. Hello, if you're from Gambia, you know me. If you're not from Gambia, I'll introduce myself before I kick off the program, as I often do. So you guys bear with me, please. Let me share this with people who might have some interest in the program. And there's been a lot of interest in what's happening in the Gambia right now because of the nature. Yeah. Okay, let me begin without delay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lamin Tamba. I'm Gambian born and bred. I support the Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, the political party which was in power in the Gambia between 1996 and 2016. That political party and the presidency was led by President Jammeh, the former president of the Republic of the Gambia. His Excellency, Chair Professor Alhaji Dr. Yaya AJJ Jammeh. So I support that same party. I joined the party in 2017 after President Jammeh's departure from the Republic of the Gambia. So now I am here to talk about the current dangerous security situation in the Republic of the Gambia. And that's why I've come in to discuss this topic live today on YouTube. So all of you can know what's going on in Africa. And this video will be shared to the economic community of West African states called ECOWAS. ECOWAS has got a military wing called ECOMOG, but depending on which country the military wing is deployed at, they change the last two letters to match the country where the deployment took place. Now, in Liberia, they'll be called ECOMIL. In Gambia, they're called ECOMIG. L for Liberia, G for Gambia, S for Sierra Leone. Guinea-Bissau might be GB, who knows? But that's how they changed the mission's name. So the name is the Economic Community of West African Military Wing is ECOMOG. That's the general name. In the Gambia, we have a mission. The West African Military Wing is in the Gambia. Why did they go to the Gambia? They went to the Gambia because there was an election in 2016 which was hotly contested between the incumbent President Jammeh and the President-elect Adama Barrow. And in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, 1997 Constitution, if election results do not satisfy any of the contestants, any of the candidates, they have to apply or petition the person or the party with whom they have issues. In this case, the winner was declared to be Adama Barrow, the current president of the Republic of the Gambia. So the West African community called ECOWAS decided that they were not going to support the election petition of President Jammeh, who had issues with election results. And the issues were evident. President Jammeh didn't make them up. The election results were challenged because the supposedly independent Electoral Commission of the Gambia did two separate declarations of presidential election results. President Jammeh was not satisfied with the way the election was run, with the way the results were declared, so he petitioned to challenge the validity of the election results. Now, that validity, you would think the economic community of West African states, which includes the Gambia, is 16 countries from Mauritania to Nigeria, who are part of the economic community of West African states. Now, the Constitution of the Gambia, like many constitutions across the world, have got provisions for challenging the electoral results. President Jammeh did just that. He exercised his democratic right. I'm not happy with the election results. I'm going to appeal. ECOWAS said, nope, we're not going to allow the election petition to be heard. Gambian opposition parties said, nope, we're not going to allow the election petition to be heard. So, therefore, that's a push and pull, and President Jammeh, being the incumbent, decided he was not going to leave until that petition was heard. He declared a state of emergency because of the security situation, which was brought about by the electoral disagreement. So President Jammeh, in the end, in the interest of the Republic of the Gambia's peace, security, the future of the country, decided, you know what? Now that the ECOWAS is putting together a military, pressured by their masters in France, because France was involved, they had every interest in removing President Jammeh from the presidency in the Gambia. The foreign powers told President Jammeh 9 years before they finally succeeded, they were going to overthrow him, they were going to change his regime, because he was not selling Gambian oil and gas at derisory prices, at ridiculous prices, which, unfortunately, other African heads of state are accepting as deals. President Jammeh didn't want Gambia to sell Gambian oil and gas below the market value. And he made that clear to the companies that came to explore the Gambian potential in terms of oil and gas reserves. He said, I am not going to sell Gambian oil below the market value. Whatever Russia is selling it at, whatever Saudi Arabia, Iran, Syria, Venezuela are selling their oil at, That's what I'll be selling Gambian oil at. I do not care whether you're getting oil for free from Nigeria, from Angola, from other countries in Africa, from Senegal, from Guinea-Bissau. I am not going to sell Gambian oil for pittance. I will not accept it. And they vowed to overthrow him. Since then, they've tried several violent attempts to overthrow President Jammeh, and he refused. When this election issue came in 2016, they saw that as an opportunity to remove President Jammeh. But President Jammeh saw the interest of the Republic of the Gambia. This is a guy, a head of state, who transformed the face of the Gambia. Physically, socioeconomically, medically, intellectually, every single sector of the Gambia had a massive transformation between 1994, July, when he stepped into office, and the 22nd of January, 2017, when he stepped out of office. The people didn't want President Jammeh to go through the legal process of challenging the election. So the economic community of West African states said, nope, you lost the election, even though they know for a fact, the economic community of West African states knew for a fact that President Jammeh had a case, because it is the Independent Electoral Commission which changed the vote swing from one side to the other, a massive swing of votes. That's what happened. So anyway, to cut a long story short, the economic community of West African states, instead of supporting the legal challenge and allowing the process to take place for the sake of legality, knowing that ECOWAS is always the first one to cry foul when there has been a constitutional change of power in West Africa. ECOWAS will jump out and cry foul and wail and yelp and bark and burp all through the process. Oh, there's an unconstitutional change of power. You must reinstate the ex-president. You must return to civilian rule. The transition period should be as short and as quick as possible so that the military junta don't overthrow, because it's always the military in West Africa that overthrows the government, except in recent history in Burkina Faso, where the people power removed the head of state. Libya was not part of that, because Libya was NATO and foreign special forces who overthrew, tracked Gaddafi, arrested him, killed him. But when the cameras zoom in, they'll show the Libyan protesters. Those Libyan protesters didn't have the ability, they didn't have the skill to kill Gaddafi, to spot him, to track him and kill him. It was the foreign forces, NATO, that did that. But we go back to the Gambia. So the ECOWAS said, all right, well, President Jammeh, if you're not going to leave, we're not going to allow this election petition to be heard, and we're not going to drag it. We're not going to have a fresh election. We're going to put together the West African armies of 16 countries, called a COMOG. We're going to conjure up a military plan to either overthrow you or capture you alive or dead. But you have to leave power. President Jammeh already appealed to the Supreme Court. It would have been hassle-free. It would have been cost-free. It would have been quicker. It would have been easier if the economic community of West African states put judges together to look at the merit of the election petition. But they said no, because France and foreign powers who wanted Gambia's gas and oil, which they have now in Senegal, which they have now in Guinea-Bissau, which they probably extracting from the Gambia, but clandestinely, secretly, and the Gambian public is losing out. Now they have total control of that sub-region. Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, and they just lost Mali. They don't have full control of Guinea. They just lost Burkina Faso. They're just about to lose the West African subcontinent totally. If we see the back of Buhari, if we see the back of Macky Sall, if we see the back of Alassane Ouattara, West Africa will finally be a continent of its own. But what did the West African heads of states do just last week? They went to sign up to colonialism 2.0. That's what ECOWAS done, because ECOWAS has always been a foreign embassy belonging to the French because of the influence of the Francophone in West Africa. But then we go back to Gambia. I don't want to go into Pan-African stuff right now, because this is about the mass murder of Gambian citizens, the war crimes that are being committed by Adama Barrow's government of the Gambia and Macky Sall's government of Senegal. This conversation today, this presentation today, is about that and nothing else. But I laid the background because I know people who follow me are not necessarily attuned to Gambian politics. They're not necessarily kept abreast of what's happening in the Gambia and Senegal. So my job is to set the tone, to lay the foundation, to set the picture going forward in terms of why I'm sitting here today to present this topic to you Gambian people, to you West African people, so that you can understand. Talk to your presidents, talk to the ECOWAS Commission, talk to the ECOMIC, and make them understand the situation in the Gambia. Now is the time for ECOWAS to intervene in what's happening in the Gambia, rather than waiting until it's too late and then they want to intervene. At that point, it will be civil unrest, it will be a military overthrow, or the population will get up and burn every single thing that shouldn't have been burned. So this is the opportunity I'm presenting, so that the ECOWAS community can know that the government of Adama Barrow and the government of Macky Sall, Gambia and Senegal respectively, are killing unarmed, innocent civilians in the Gambia and in Senegal, and they're doing that with impunity, and they're doing that either out of malice, out of cruelty, or they're testing their gadgets that they have as military drones, and they're testing it on the lives of Gambian citizens. Whether that killing is on Gambian soil or that killing is on Senegalese soil, the immigration status of the people who've been killed, unarmed civilians who've been killed in what is dubbed a conflict zone, does not matter. These are the lives of young West Africans, African kids, crossing one country to the other, one border frontier to the other, being killed. They have no arms, and I'll come to that in a minute. They had no arms when they were shot. 4 of them killed in the space of 2 weeks. 2 seriously injured. 1 is between life and death. We don't know whether he's going to survive it or not. What's happening in the Gambia is actually Adama Barrow, the president of the Republic of the Gambia, and his government, giving Senegal a base to operate from to attack the separatist movement in Casamance, southern Senegal. So the southern part of Senegal has been fighting for separation from Senegal since 1982. There has been a fight for separation before that diplomatically since the 1970s, 1960s. But that fight, diplomatic fight, descended into armed struggle in 1982. And the Movement for Democratic Forces of Casamance, MFDC, as they are called, want a separate region. They want to govern themselves. This is southern Senegal. And Senegalese government is refusing to give them the permission to govern themselves. They're refusing to give them the mandate to have their independence. And it's been a bloody battle. It's been a bloody war. It has been a bloody civil war for a good almost 40 years. Now, that battle between the Senegalese government and the separatist movement of Casamance, MFDC, has involved the Republic of the Gambia, and unfairly. There's no justification of dragging Gambia into this war that belongs to a separate state. But this was brought about by ECOWAS, and I'll tell you where it started. Now, President Jammeh already agreed with the economic community of West African states, with the Adama Barrow government, the incoming government at the time, on the 21st of January 2017. President Jammeh agreed with Adama Barrow's incoming government. President Jammeh agreed with Macky Sall, the current president of Senegal. President Jammeh agreed with the economic community of West African states. President Jammeh agreed with the ECOWAS, or African Union, representative in the Gambia. President Jammeh agreed with the United Nations on the 21st of January 2017, called the Joint Declaration of 21st of January 2017 between President Jammeh, President Adama Barrow, the ECOWAS Commission, the African Union, and the United Nations. They agreed that President Jammeh would leave based on conditions that were laid. And those conditions, I'll read them because they are very relevant to what's happening in the Gambia today in terms of the mass murder, organized, aided, abetted, whichever applies to the Barrow government, because the Barrow government is giving the Senegalese army the platform to operate from, to kill Gambian citizens, to kill the citizens of Casamance, southern Senegal. Adama Barrow's government has dragged Gambia into a conflict that we have no interest in. We have no business getting involved in the conflict in Casamance. but the incompetent, hugely corrupt, openly corrupt president of the Republic of the Gambia, who was installed by Senegal and the foreign powers so that they can take hold of Gambia's oil and gas reserves, which Senegal is benefiting from today, which Guinea-Bissau is benefiting today. Gambia is not seeing a single droplet of that oil that's coming from our river basin. Gambia is not seeing a single droplet of gas that's been extracted from our river basin. I do not know whether this is being extracted, but we share the same underground source with Senegal and Guinea-Bissau. But, ladies and gentlemen, what did ECOMOG do? What did ECOWAS do? ECOWAS decided to deploy their forces. They decided they wouldn't want to allow the election petition to take place or to be heard in 2017. So ECOWAS deployed their forces to go and attack President Jammeh. And that physical transformation, the modern architecture that President Jammeh put on our Gambian soil, the modern architecture that President Jammeh put on Gambian soil, everything that's magnificent about Gambia today, every single edifice, every single communication network in the Gambia today, every single piece of rural electricity, every single piece of infrastructure in the Gambia today that's magnificent, gigantic, was installed by President Jammeh. Yes, it's taxpayers' money, but we had taxpayers' money 433 years before President Jammeh came. They couldn't build a single bit of that sort of infrastructure. So now, ECOWAS, the ECOMOG forces which they deployed to the Gambia wanted to attack the Gambia and destroy that transformation that President Jammeh brought about in the 22 years that he was president. President Jammeh knew what their intentions were because Senegal was always jealous of Gambia's resources, Gambia's vibrant seaport, Gambia's connection to the outside world, which Senegal didn't have at the time. Gambia's tourism industry, which was booming, which Senegal didn't have at the time. Now Senegal is taking all of that from the Gambia. Senegal took Dubai port from us. Senegal took cashew trade from us. Senegal took the Atlantic Ocean from us. Senegal took the River Gambia from us. Senegal took our security apparatus from us. Senegal took our economic benefits, sectors from us. Senegal is basically colonizing Gambia again. Well, not again, because they didn't colonize us before. The British people colonized us in the past. So Senegal have brought colonialism to the Gambia again. That's what I should have said. But this is what they wanted. This is what they were jealous. They wanted to try the same with President Jawara. President Jawara was a smart man. Despite his government's failure, President Jawara was not a lame duck. He was a smart fellow. He was an educated fellow. He was connected to the communities. Unfortunately for President Jawara, he was surrounded by a pack of wolves, hyenas, who were only interested in enriching themselves, in taking their children on holidays to Western countries. That's what they were interested in. Parties after parties. That's the PPP government that was in power for 33 years, from 1962 to 1994. So we would say 32 years for the sake of accuracy. Jawara became a chief minister in 1962, prime minister from 1965, president from 1970. So now ECOWAS said, we're going to go and attack Gambia militarily because going to court was too difficult for us, the economic community of West African states. So they deployed forces. In the middle of that deployment, the government of Adama Barrow and the government of Macky Sall wanted an extra contingent of Senegalese forces who were obviously not part of the ECOMOG mission. They organized it bilaterally without going through parliament to deploy an occupying force on the Republic of the Gambia, but mainly station this illegal occupying force in one region of the country only. That's Fonyi, which is the origin of President Jammeh, the former president of the Republic of the Gambia. Because he's a military man, he's security conscious, he trained the Gambian military and armed them to the teeth. They thought, if we do not militarize his zone, which is Fonyi, if we do not subjugate these people, if we do not torture them, if we do not kill them, if we do not pressure them, if we do not create a siege mentality in Fonyi, President Jammeh might make a comeback via military overthrow, or there might be a foreign invasion of Gambian soil, something they didn't know President Jammeh had no interest in, because President Jammeh only cares about Gambia's peace and stability and security. President Jammeh was a soldier. He secured our country. President Jammeh was a president. He secured our country. President Jammeh sacrificed his esteemed position as president, left the country to keep Gambia in peace. Therefore, the last thing President Jammeh wants is to bring an armed struggle to the Republic of the Gambia, to destroy his legacy totally, which is what they've tried to do for 6 years without success. They tried to erase President Jammeh in all their presentations. There was Gambia until 1994, and Gambia didn't exist between 1994 and 2017. So they skipped Gambia's history by 22 years. They removed his photos from the National Assembly. Gambia didn't exist between 1994 and 2017. They removed his photos from the airport because Gambia didn't exist between 1994 and 2017. This is a systemic imbecility that's been perpetrated by the Gambia government of Adama Barrow. The hugely corrupt, openly corrupt, admittedly corrupt government of Adama Barrow. So ECOWAS came to Gambia to blow the country to pieces. In the middle of that deployment, Senegal sneakily sent in 1,500, according to my military sources, 1,500 Senegalese forces to be in the Fonyi region, to sit face to face with their foe, their number one enemy, the Movement of Democratic Forces of Casamance, or Mouvement Force Democratic of Casamance, the Casamance. Mouvement Force Democratic de Casamance, MFDC, or if we say it in English, the Movement of Democratic Forces of Casamance. So, if ECOWAS had genuine interest of keeping peace in the sub-region, if the government of Macky Sall, which I knew from the beginning, didn't have any interest in helping the Gambia, the Senegalese government from Abdou Diouf to today have always been trying their luck with the Republic of the Gambia. They were looking for opportunities to subjugate Gambia, to basically besiege the Republic of the Gambia, put us under immense pressure so that they can get their end goals. And their end goals are to control Gambia's vibrant sectors: the seaport, the tourism industry, the security industry, the economy, our cherished Atlantic Ocean, and our cherished River Gambia. That's all they were interested in. They were not interested in helping Gambian people. They saw an opportunity to help Gambians remove Senegalese obstacle from Gambian soil. They were not in there to help Gambian people achieve political stability. No, that's not Senegal's interest. They've never had that interest since 1970s. They provoked President Jawara several times. They did every single thing. When he found out that Senegal are not genuine partners, they were not in there to help the Republic of the Gambia. He kicked them out in 1988, 1989, when the confederation between the Gambia and Senegal broke down, because President Jammeh saw them pushing the boundaries. And when he found out that Senegal was actually, this while, planning a different agenda against the Gambia, they wanted to take total control of the Gambia. They wanted to put President Jawara in a box. President Jawara thought, okay, you guys came and helped reinstate me after I was overthrown for a week or two or three by Kukwe Samba Sanyang and his people. You helped reinstate me. I thought that would be the end of it. Gambia is now stable. Now you're pushing to get a full military deployment in the Gambia, to take control of some of the sectors of the Republic of the Gambia. I'm not going to allow that. I'm going to end this mission, and I'm going to send you back to Senegal. President Jawara did that in 1988, 89, or 1990. The Senegalese forces were gone from Gambian soil. The same thing they're doing now. Well, they're succeeding now, because Senegal guards our president. They own our presidential palace. They own all our security installations. But I'll go back to ECOWAS so you guys can understand where we are right now, why Gambian citizens are being killed by Senegalese government on Gambian soil and on Senegalese soil, when they're not supposed to be killing our Gambian citizens. I think I'll put the context before you all now, so you understand why Gambia has been embroiled in this battle, in this war that has nothing to do with the Republic of the Gambia. We have Senegal, which wants to put itself in a position to be able to exploit Gambian land, exploit Gambian citizens, kill Gambian citizens in order to achieve their end goal. And that end goal is not beneficial to the Republic of the Gambia. Gambia has no right, Gambia has no interest in participating in war between the Senegalese army and the MFDC separatists. But Gambia is losing heavily. We're losing our blood, we're losing our souls, we're losing our property, we're losing our dignity thanks to the brutality of the Adama Barrow government and the Senegalese government. Barrow government is participating in this killing of Gambian citizens on Gambian soil and Senegalese land. How is this happening? It's the same Senegalese contingent, extra contingent on Gambian soil, an illegal deployment of an army. Senegalese army has been deployed on the Republic of the Gambia without Parliament ratifying it. You cannot have a bilateral agreement of that sort, a huge security arrangement between two countries without Parliament being involved. So Senegal brought their army to the Republic of the Gambia. They're occupying Fonyi mainly, because that's where President Jammeh comes. That's the only place they can set their base so that they can successfully attack the separatist movement of Casamance from the northern side of the separatist movement of Casamance. So Gambia was a conduit. Gambia is a good base for Senegalese to operate from, and we're now collateral. But it's not only collateral now, we're direct targets of Senegalese army, killing our citizens, unarmed citizens, callously, for no particular reason. That's what the Senegalese army is doing. They're killing unarmed Gambian citizens who've always lived by the border villages, who've always crisscrossed the border, depending on what their interest was, to go into Senegal, to come into Gambia. Senegalese citizens are crisscrossing the Gambian-Senegal border at will. It has been like that since 1982, when the armed struggle of the MFDC started. No problems with Gambian citizens. MFDCs never abducted Gambian citizens before. They never killed Gambian citizens before. They never held them hostages before. Senegalese army is doing that now to Gambian citizens. They're holding Gambian citizens hostage. They did that in January. Took 3 Gambians, including a Gambian security officer to Senegal, held them hostage for days, tortured them. Some of them had bullet wounds, bullets lodged in their skin. Senegalese army has been doing this, but they've been doing it in the cover of ECOMOG. Because at the time, not many Gambian citizens knew that there was an extra contingent of Senegalese army, maybe 2-3 battalions of Senegalese army, deployed in the Republic of the Gambia, who are not part of the ECOMOG. They came under the guise of ECOMOG. They came in the cover of dark, pretended to be ECOMOG. But they're not ECOMOG. They were an extra, and the former Minister of Interior, who was involved in that negotiation between Adama Barrow's government and Macky Sall's government, exposed the fact that there's an extra contingent of Senegalese forces on Gambian soil who are not part of ECOMOG. They were brought in via a separate agreement between the Senegal government and the government of Adama Barrow, without Parliament's ratification, without Parliament's knowledge, without the knowledge of government bodies who should have given the seal of approval on this deployment of an extra number of Senegalese forces. And those Senegalese forces have been the ones who were wreaking havoc, and still wreaking havoc, on the citizens of the Gambia, mainly in the Fonyi region. They've been killing people in the Fonyi region. They've been maiming people in the Fonyi region. They've stopped people's agricultural activities in the Fonyi region. They've displaced over 10,000 people in the Fonyi region. They've killed about 5, 6, 7 people in the Fonyi region now. Senegalese forces themselves suffered about 7 deaths when they stupidly attacked the rebels of Casamance from the Fonyi region of the Republic of the Gambia. So now, Barrow government gave the Senegalese army to use Fonyi, which is bordering the separatist movement, as a launchpad, making us collateral. And we're suffering serious collateral damage in property, in lives, in livelihoods, displacements. Over 10,000 victims of the Adama Barrow government. because Adama Barrow's government is aiding and abetting the rebellion, the fight that's taking place between the Senegalese army and the Casamance separatist movement. ECOWAS is quiet. We wrote to ECOWAS. Their Gambian representative knows about what's going on in Fonyi. We wrote to the EU. Their Gambian representative knows what's happening in Fonyi. We wrote to the African Union Commission in the Gambia. They know what's happening. They are not taking action until the government of Adama Barrow has been unconstitutionally changed. Then they start clamoring. But the signs are there. Intervene now and stop Adama Barrow and Macky Sall, the two dictators, the two brutal dictators, from killing the citizens of the Gambia and killing the citizens of Senegal, who have nothing to do with the armed struggle that's taking place in Casamance. ECOWAS will not intervene. ECOWAS will ignore it, because ECOWAS will wait until France's interest is threatened. Then they will act. Because right now, whatever the Senegalese army is doing is in the interest of ECOWAS's master in Champs-Élysées in France, in Paris. ECOWAS is a French ambassador to West Africa. They don't do anything which is not in the interest of the Francophone. That's why the ECO, the West African currency, died, because it's not in the interest of France to kill the CFA, the French francs, that the French West African nations are using right now. They'll not allow the ECO to come, because that will cost France about 400 billion euros a year. This is why France fought to kill the ECO. They probably paid Mohamed Buhari to pull out, to tell, oh, Nigeria is not in Nigeria's economic interest to roll out the ECO. Or it's not in Ivory Coast's interest to roll out the ECO. Or it's not in Senegal's interest to roll out the ECO because it's going to cause economic struggle. It's not. There are economic frameworks that can be used in terms of the GDP, the current foreign reserves, and other economic indicators that can be put in place to protect the economies of various players in ECOWAS. But this is going to cost France 400, 500, 600 billion euros a year. Money that could have been transforming West African hospitals, West African schools, building super highways in West Africa. Today, I should have been able to drive to Nigeria from Gambia and return to the Gambia without much problem. Very quickly, within 3-4 days, I could be in Nigeria, have a holiday in Nigeria, invest in Nigeria, support systems in Nigeria. We could be holidaying in our own countries rather than going to London, to New York, to Dubai, to Doha, and other places. France didn't want it. But what's happening in the Gambia now? ECOWAS is not going to act unless France's interest is thwarted. And what is France's interest? Now France is coming, getting the Senegalese gas and oil for the EU, because the EU is struggling to get gas and oil from Russia. They're struggling to get it from the Gulf, because the Arabs don't play silly games like us, the Africans. West Africa has just signed up to NATO and France to bring about second bout of colonialism to the subcontinent of West Africa. That's what we're suffering. This is why whatever France wants happens in West Africa. Not in the interest of the West African citizens, not in the interest of Gambian citizens. We are serving the French god, and Gambia is part of that French enclave now, because we are now fully under Senegal. Guinea-Bissau is now fully under Senegal. Alassane Ouattara and Macky Sall are Senegalese puppets, enslaved African presidents. And then they got every single West African head of state to go and sign up that preposterous deal to bring NATO, to bring French forces to come and fight terrorism. What terrorism? To come and fight against coups in West Africa. Why are coups taking place in West Africa? This is exactly why coups are taking place in West Africa. Exactly what Adama Barrow and Macky Sall are doing in Senegal and Gambia. Because citizens like us are talking to ECOWAS and they're not listening to us. We're giving them the facts and they're paying deaf ears. We're telling them what's happening on the ground and they're not interested unless France tells them to act. ECOWAS is dead. ECOWAS is not interested in uplifting the lives of the West African people. This is why Senegal is doing what they're doing. They want to take control of Casamance, because Casamance is the resource-rich part of Senegal. It's the most endowed part of Senegal. Casamance is the breadbasket the food bowl that supplies the raw materials, fresh agricultural produce, and many other things to Senegal. And who knows, maybe they know Casamance also has got large oil reserves and gas reserves, and they want to take control of it. But they neglect the region of Casamance. That's why the separatist movement wants to go it alone. They want independence. They want to go by themselves. That's their problem, not mine. That's a Senegalese problem. That's not a Gambian problem. It becomes a Gambian problem when the border villages that have been there for 3,000 years, they predate the colonial borders drawn by France and Britain. These villages have always lived by the border villages, and their main activity is agriculture, crop farming, livestock farming. And the livestock is 100% free range. They go grazing about, and they might cross the border when they're grazing. They go looking for their livestock, and they get shot by the Senegalese military drone to kill them. They go across the border to farm, Senegalese military drones shoot and kill Gambian citizens. Just like that. Callously. Cold-blooded murder, repeatedly. 4 lives have gone. 2 nearly died. Others were injured. Their livestock, their crops, their farms have been abandoned. The activities of these village areas have been farming, agriculture, for thousands of years before the French drew that border, an invisible border that nobody can see. We just hear about, oh, that's the border. Oh, they put one block of concrete there at one particular place, then maybe 10 kilometers later, there's another block of concrete. If you're between the 2 blocks of concrete, indicating the borders of Senegal and Gambia, and you can't see a block of concrete because you're in between them, or if your cattle went in between those blocks of concrete, which indicate the border positions, you're going to go and cross the border. And as soon as you cross the border, with no arms, with no ammunition, not being a rebel, the drone comes with its thermal imaging, with modern 4K cameras. The drones can zoom into you clearly. They can see who this fellow is. They can tell whether you got arms and ammunition. They just shoot and kill you because they can. Are they testing their drones on Gambian citizens? Are they killing them because they want to have a laugh? Are they trying to provoke a war in Fonyi so that they can use that as a pretext to go and attack the rebels in Casamance? Why must the lives of Fonyi people suffer? Perished because of the Senegalese interest in Casamance. Because the government of the Gambia under Adama Barrow is giving Senegal the base to operate and kill Gambian citizens across the border and on Gambian soil, because they killed Gambian citizens on Gambian soil, not once, not twice. They shot Gambian soldiers. They shot one person in Kanilai and killed them. And the spokesman of ECOMOG in 2017 said, the soldiers who killed Haruna Jatta in Kanilai are not ECOMOG forces. They are a separate contingent of Senegalese army brought in by Mai Fati, the former interior minister, who confessed that these were indeed not ECOMOG forces. They were a separate contingent of Senegalese army who were brought in illegally to Gambian soil to kill Haruna Jatta and injure 9 other Kanilai people from bullet wounds. The same soldiers went and shot people in Buyam, or the same soldiers were caught sleeping with people's wives in Buyam. One of them got mercilessly beaten after being caught sleeping with somebody else's wife. When that caught the headlines, their ECOMOG spokesman came out, or their head in the Gambia came out and said, oh, that soldier who was caught sleeping with somebody's wife in Buyam, in Fonyi, West Coast region, is not an ECOMOG soldier. He belongs to the Senegalese contingent, brought on Gambian soil illegally, operating on Gambian soil illegally. But recently, what's happening in the Gambia right now, we know for a fact that these are not ECOMOG forces. All right? So there's illegality which is being perpetrated by Adama Barrow's government and the government of Senegal to kill Gambian citizens. They killed Yankuba Baji, they killed Aliou Manga, they killed Ibrahim Koli, and they killed the other fellow, I can't remember the third fellow who died. Suleiman Koli is in hospital in a critical condition. Shot by the Senegalese drone, which is suspected to be operated from Gambian soil. Senegalese army is carrying out the reconnaissance activities. They're carrying out their surveillance operations from Gambian soil, something that they're not supposed to do. A COMOG, I can understand if a COMOG is monitoring Gambian soil for foreign potential of foreign invasion. Senegalese army, one, they are illegally occupying Gambian land. Secondly, they're not supposed to be on Gambian land in the first place, which is illegal, same as the first point, but I'm emphasizing it for a reason. And thirdly, they're not supposed to use Gambia as a launch pad for their conflict in Casamance. Fourth, if they're using it as a launch pad, what have civilian lives got to do with their activities? Unarmed civilians crossing the border, coming back to the Gambia, they have nothing to do with separatist activity. They were not armed. The drones can see it. Some of these military drones have got night vision. They've got thermal imaging. They've got cameras that can zoom in real time and tell whether somebody has got a weapon on them, whether that person is a security threat. But if a drone can do that, a drone can equally take videos and photos of these people and send the intelligence information to the Gambia Armed Forces. It can send intelligence information to the Gambia Police Force to say, we have seen these people repeatedly crossing the border. We have seen them with arms, or we've seen them with what we suspect to be drugs, or we've seen them with material that we suspect to be illegal. So therefore, next time we see them with our drone, we will alert the Gambia Armed Forces and the Gambia Police Force to give them a track, to track them and tell them which route they are taking to come back to the Gambia so that they can be arrested and charged for drug trafficking, all right, or aiding and abetting in drug trafficking. That's how it should be dealt with. Drug offenses, drug trafficking, possession or supply of drugs in the Gambia and Senegal is not a death sentence. So killing somebody deliberately by a drone or by a gun or by a tanker or a tank, military tank, is illegal because these issues are not they're not death sentences in our law courts. So if the drone can zoom in and tell these people have drugs or these people have got guns, if they have guns and they're part of the separatist movement, fine. I don't have no sympathy for anyone who carries guns to go and cause trouble. If you get met by guns, I will not defend you. But what they've done is they killed 4 young men and attempted to kill 2 more because some people, the Senegalese army is not talking because they know they killed innocent civilians. Some people are saying, oh, these people go to Casamance to farm drugs or to import drugs to the Gambia. So what? Somebody's going to farm drugs in Casamance. You know that clearly. You obviously know where the farms are. You obviously know they're going there for ganja farming. All right? You obviously know when they go there, where they go back, because you got information. Clear information that these people are going to Casamance to go and farm. Ganja farming, weed, hashish, whatever you call it. And you know after their farming day, they return to the Gambia, to Karunor or Jifanga or Kusamai. You know. That's what they're saying. That's what the witnesses who I think are lying are saying. So this is obviously intelligence information is available. People know them already. Why are you shooting them and killing them? Why can't you share that intelligence information with Gambia Police Force, with Gambia Army, Gambia Armed Forces Quick Response Force, which is stationed by the border? Why aren't you reporting it to them? You know who they are. You know which farms they go to. You got a drone which has got clear imagery to capture these people. You have a drone with clear thermal imagery, night vision. Military drones are very well equipped. You have it. You have their clear pictures. So obviously, you know they're going in and out of Casamance regularly. Because for you to say they go to Casamance for drugs farming, which is weed basically, no other hard drug, weed. All right? You know that. Why haven't you shared intelligence information with Gambia Police Force, with the Gambia Armed Forces, for them to intercept them when they're returning to the Republic of the Gambia? Why do you have to shoot and kill them? This is the question that Gambian people need to understand. Just because somebody is dealing in drugs or dealing with drugs or transporting drugs from one country to the other doesn't mean you should shoot and kill them. It's not a death sentence in Senegal and it's not a death sentence in the Gambia. Action that you take as a government has to be proportionate. None of them said to this date that these people had guns, that these people are suspected MFDC rebels. Nobody said that. What they're saying is the people who are lying, who are in Adama Barrow's government and NPP, and the sons of Fonyi who are selling their souls, traitors from Fonyi, like Demba Sabali, like Abasanyang, like other people who are working for the Barrow government. And Fonyi's got officials in Barrow government, but these are not Fonyi kids that have any sympathy for Fonyi people. They don't care about this plight that Fonyi is facing. They're probably not true sons of Fonyi, even though Demba Sabali said they're the true and good sons of Fonyi. He lied. How is Demba Sabali, your party, your government, NPP, killing Fonyi citizens, innocent Fonyi citizens, unarmed Fonyi citizens? A conventional army has no right to shoot unarmed civilians, no matter what you've seen them with, apart from the fact that if they had guns and you suspect they're up to no good, or they were part of the MFDC, then you can take them out. A conventional army should not shoot a civilian, unarmed civilian, who is not in active combat, should not shoot and kill them because you suspect they're dealing drugs. Senegalese army is a conventional army. What they've done is a war crime. And the Senegalese army, Macky Sall and Adama Barrow, should face war crimes charges, basically, for killing unarmed civilians who were just crossing the border, just happened to be accidentally on the other side of the border, or deliberately gone across the border, like they've been doing, their forefathers have been doing, their great-great-great-grandfathers have been doing for 3,000 years before Senegal and Gambia existed. The traitors from Fonyi, who are out defending the Adama Barrow government, making it look legitimate to kill Gambian citizens because you're supporting Adama Barrow, like the chief of Fonyi Councillor, who came out to make it look like it was okay to kill these people because they are refugees in the Gambia, Senegalese refugees living in the Gambia. Like the former chief of defense staff, who's now Gambia's deputy ambassador to Russia. I heard his audio. I'll play his audio so you can hear it. Who's making it look like it's okay to kill Gambian citizens because these Gambian citizens were refugees, Senegalese refugees living in the Gambia. And I'll come to that context in a minute. He is now the deputy ambassador of the Gambia in Russia, Lantombong Tamba. Sold these people for what is happening today. Supported Adama Barrow so he can get that chicken change that he's getting as a deputy ambassador. Talking rubbish to Fonyi citizens and the citizens of the Gambia. Demba Sabali, the NPP chairman, now the Minister of Agriculture, talking rubbish against the dead citizens of the Gambia who've been killed by the Senegalese army for no reason. Like the Gambia government spokesman, Ibrahima G. Sankare, this information will get to ECOWAS. Adama Barrow and Macky Sall, you're committing war crimes and your day will come. All these cases will be put before you one day. And I can tell you that now. You better be prepared for it. The Gambia government spokesman, Ibrahima G. Sankare, who has a reputation for lying, he lied here that Gambia army had Senegalese separatist rebels in the Gambia National Army. He lied here that Salif Sadio, the head of the separatist movement of Casamance, MFDC, had a son in the Gambia National Army. He lied that Adama Barrow government didn't have an agreement with President Jammeh in place with ECOWAS, AU, and the UN. All those lies have been proven to be lies, nothing but lies, concocted lies by the Gambia government spokesman, Ibrahima G. Sankare. Because Salif Sadio said he hasn't got any child, he hasn't got any son. Therefore, the soldier that he accused of being Salif Sadio's son in the Gambia Armed Forces, who was wrongly terminated, dismissed, and that soldier, Omar Sadio, has won his case in Gambia courts now. He won his case against the Gambia Armed Forces. He won his case against the Gambia Immigration Services. Therefore, the courts have vindicated Omar Sadio and us that have been telling the Gambia government spokesman that you've been lying cynically to create tension in our communities. You were inciting violence, Ibrahima G. Sankare, by claiming the Gambia Armed Forces had Casamance rebels in it, or Senegalese citizens in it, and the son of Salif Sadio, the Casamance rebel leader, is in Gambia Armed Forces. That was all lies. And when President Jammeh spoke last year during the presidential election, and started supporting Gambian people, Mama Kande, the Honorable Mama Kande. And President Jammeh was warning Gambian citizens not to re-elect Adama Barrow. Because if we re-elected Adama Barrow, we'll be seeing exactly what we're facing now in the Gambia. Exactly what President Jammeh described is what we're facing in the Gambia today. Ibrahim G. Sankara again lied. Previously, he denied that Adama Barrow government and President Jammeh had an agreement. But when Jammeh started making a significant impact in the presidential election last year, Ibrahim G. Sankara came out and said, President Jammeh needs to bear in mind that he has an agreement with Gambia government and stakeholders. So he basically undid his own work. He erased his own statements that he made in the past. Ibrahim G. Sankara lied about Haruna Jatta. He lied about many other incidents as the Gambia government spokesman. I don't want to list all of them because this program is not about him. This program is about the war crimes which are being committed by Adama Barrow's government and Macky Sall's government. And those war crimes, we want both of them to face, including the Minister of Agriculture, who is now the Defense Minister. A Minister of Agriculture has gone on a Meet the People's tour, which was supposed to be informing the Gambian people how much the groundnuts are going to be bought for this year, how much other agricultural crops will be bought for this year by the Gambia government, whether Gambia government has intention to buy these crops in the first place, or whether Gambia government has intentions to facilitate the sale of these agricultural products. The agriculture minister was supposed to tell Gambian farmers why Adama Barrow's government took away agricultural mechanisms, mechanized agriculture in tractors, and replaced them with donkeys. That's what the Minister of Agriculture was supposed to do. The Minister of Agriculture was supposed to tell Gambian farmers why the price of fertilizer went from 500, 600 under President Jammeh to 2,500, 3,000, $3,500 is under Adama Barrow. The Minister of Agriculture was supposed to tell Gambian farmers why you can mechanize agriculture, why you want to feed Gambian population and export surplus by replacing tractors with donkeys. What a donkey policy. And their level of thinking is as low as that, basically. What is it? Cool. Can you turn the heat on and face it this way, please? So sorry about that interruption. So that's what the agriculture minister. Instead, the Minister of Agriculture, Demba Sabali, went to Fonyi to provoke Fonyi to make ridiculous, stinky statements before the Fonyi people, telling Fonyi people that there's no problem in Fonyi, that Fonyi people are mourning. There's only a section of political party activists in Fonyi who are complaining about the situation of the Gambia, when he knows fully well that Gambia is in the situation today, thanks to Adama Barrow joining Macky Sall and bringing this armed struggle in the Republic of the Gambia, an armed struggle that we didn't have at all. The Minister of Agriculture turned himself into the Minister of Interior and made himself the Minister of Defense, talking about the security situation rather than talking about agriculture. And the Minister of Defense, the current Minister of Defense, came and lied to people and said, oh, it's only ECOMOG who can remove their ECOMOG soldiers from the Republic of the Gambia. Mr. Njai, I say, what's his name? Mr. Serinjai? Modi Serinjai, I can't remember the defense minister's name. He came out and said, the ECOMOG mission in the Gambia can only be ended by ECOWAS itself, Economic Community of West African States. No, it's the government of the Gambia that requested ECOWAS to come to the Republic of the Gambia. It's the government of the Gambia that requested ECOMOG to renew their mandate in the Gambia. If the government of the Gambia wants ECOMOG to go next month, they will go. So therefore, the Minister of Defense, Mr. Njai, you're lying too. And I'm surprised because Demba Sabali lied, Ibrahim Sankare lied, you're lying. Adama Barrow is an open liar. He said it's okay to lie to the Gambian public. And therefore, Demba Sabali took the baton from Adama Barrow and lied before the Fonyi people. Mr. Njai, the defense minister, you took the baton from him and lied before the Fonyi people. Ibrahim G. Sankare, the government spokesman, took the baton from him and lied. This is a relay of lies. You guys are athletic track, field day of lies, concocted stories, bullshit, bonkers, left, right, and center. You're seeing dead bodies before you. 4 dead youths before you. The chief of Fonyi Councillor lied too. He was not present when the shooting took place. He wasn't present when the bodies were recovered. Whatever he said he found when these bodies were brought to the Buyam hospital or wherever, he didn't tell us. He said, oh, that conversation will be for another day. When did the chief of Fonyi Councillor become the spokesman of the army, the spokesman of the police, the PRO of the government of the Gambia to talk about what he found on dead bodies? Even if he found drugs on these people, drugs are not death sentences. None of them should have been killed because they had drugs on them. If the drone can zoom into these people and tell for certain that these people are drug dealers, it makes it even more ridiculous, even more evil, more deplorable, more grotesque to kill these people because you suspect them of being drug dealers. The Senegalese government doesn't kill drug dealers. Gambia government doesn't kill drug dealers. NPP have got financiers and supporters who were convicted of drug dealing before, have got financiers and supporters who are suspected to be current drug dealers. 3 tons of cocaine were found in the Gambia by NPP and Adama Barrow's government. 3 tons of cocaine. They arrested a couple of people, few people. Nothing came of it. They went free. Nothing came of it. 500 kilos of cocaine and several other kilos of cocaine were seized in the Gambia by Adama Barrow's government. They went missing. To this date, 6 years later, nobody's been prosecuted for drugs offenses. Abubakar Jawara, one of Barrow's financiers, imported guns to the Republic of the Gambia. Surplus number of guns to the Republic of the Gambia. They didn't shoot him and kill him. Abubakar Jawara, the same financier, said he changed his identity in order to be able to achieve his end goals of either traveling or investing. He changed his date of birth or he changed his name. And that practice is common with Gambian citizens who change their identity because they went to the US embassy or British embassy to apply for visa and they get turned down. So therefore, they cannot use the same passport, they cannot use the same name, they cannot use the same date of birth. So they go back to Gambia immigration, they apply for another passport with either a name tweaked or a date of birth tweaked or both. And then they get a new passport. The same thing that they did with asylum claims. In fact, the former Minister of Finance under Adama Barrow was jailed for creating affidavits based on fake claims. Why then did Sehum Balo, the presidential advisor to Adama Barrow, why then did Abba Sanyang, the local government minister, why then did Demba Sabali, the agriculture minister, why then did the defense minister, Mr. Njai, Bai Sering Njai, I can't remember his full name, but his surname is Njai anyway. Why did they come and lie before the Gambian public and before the international community? Why did Ibrahim Sankare come and lie before the international community, the Gambian public, and say these people who were killed, unarmed civilians, who were killed by the Senegalese government, who are citizens of the Republic of the Gambia, were not Gambian citizens, they were Senegalese citizens. Why? Because they brought out refugee cards for these people. In the United Kingdom, in the United States, if you're in a refugee status for about 7 years, you can apply for your permanent status. If you secure your permanent status, you can become a citizen of the United Kingdom. You can become a citizen of the United States within a year or 2 after achieving your permanent status. Gambia is not unique. These people may have come as refugees, who knows? But as of Friday, when they were slaughtered by Barrow government and Macky Sall's government, by the Gambia government and Senegalese government, when they were slaughtered on Senegalese soil, these people were bearers of Gambian citizenship documents. You cannot tell me they didn't get it the right way. You cannot tell me they were refugees before, so therefore their refugee status will remain the same forever. No! Refugee statuses do change. In the United Kingdom, in the United States, Gambia is not unique. In fact, it states in the Constitution of the Gambia that if a child has lived in the Gambia continuously for 7 years, that child can apply for citizenship rights or some residential status in the Gambia, even if their parents are not Gambian citizens. You go and look at the Gambian citizenship laws in the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. If these people came to the Gambia in 1999 as refugees, by year 2006, 2007, they could have had Gambia's permanent status. By year 2009, they could have been full Gambian citizens. We're talking about 13 years ago, they could have been citizens of the Republic of the Gambia. Even if they were not citizens of the Republic of the Gambia, but they are under protection of the Gambian state. They were under humanitarian and political protection of the Gambian state, which gives Adama Barrow even added responsibility to protect these children that were killed callously in cold blood by the government of Senegal with a drone, which can clearly see if this was an accidental shot, if this was an accidental shot from a Senegalese soldier, I would understand. But these drones have got very strong cameras. They've got very good imagery. They can tell who's got a gun and who doesn't have a gun. Any other offense outside of treason or premeditated murder doesn't carry a death sentence in the Gambia and doesn't carry a death sentence in Senegal. Therefore, to kill these people because you think they are dealing in drugs is a war crime. You killed unarmed civilians. A conventional army killing unarmed civilians. Even if that region is a conflict zone, which it is, towns and cities have been in conflict zones for thousands of years. Conflict didn't start now. But in modern history, there are towns and villages which are in conflict zones, in buffer zones, in exclusion zones. What happens in these exclusion zones? Towns and villages and cities in exclusion zones, the people who live there, whether they are by borders or because of civil war, civilians who live there who've got no interest in fighting, who have no arms, are allowed to go about their businesses on a daily basis. What they cannot do, be informants for either party, carry arms and ammunition, traffic, anything to do with the crime, the conflict. Civilians who live in those villages, who live in those towns, who live in those cities, can go in and out of those exclusion zones, conflict zones, to go and get their merchandise to feed their families, to get their merchandise to run their businesses, to do any activity that is consistent with civilian life. I could run a shop in a conflict zone. I need to go and get my merchandise from Casamance or from Guinea-Bissau or from Guinea or Mali or Senegal and bring it to my village in Casamance or the border villages in the Gambia and sell material in my corner shop. India and Kashmir and Pakistan had conflict. Civilians are going in and out of those exclusion zones, those conflict zones. Nagorno-Karabakh, that's the most bitter conflict, border conflict. Civilians are going in and out to get their merchandise, to get their food, to get their medical needs, to get their educational needs, to cross the border to go to schools. Russia and Ukraine, civilians are crossing the border every single day to go about their businesses, to go to school, to get medical needs, to get their food, to get their supplies. Therefore, Fonyi and Casamance border is not unique. They can go in and out. It's not an offense to cross the border from Casamance to the Gambia, to Fonyi. It's not an offense to cross Fonyi to go to Casamance. What you cannot do is traffic ammunition or arms or wield ammunition or arms or brandish knives or machetes. If you're not trafficking drugs, it's illegal to traffic drugs. But drugs are not a death sentence. I've seen Gambian people say, oh, these people are refugees and they killed them on Senegalese soil. They shouldn't have gone back to Senegal because they're on refugee protection in the Gambia. No! They currently, at the time of their deaths, they had Gambian citizenship. But even if they had refugee status, this is refugee status. So these people came to Gambia in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, okay? So the government they had conflict with was the government of Abdoulaye Wade, the former president of Senegal, not the government of Macky Sall. This argument that the Gambian people are putting forward, oh, they're on refugee status, so they definitely cannot cross into Senegalese border because they're putting themselves in danger. No, I'll give you examples. There are several Gambians in the United Kingdom, in Denmark, in the United States, in Belgium, in many European or American states, Canada, Sweden, Norway, who are on humanitarian protection, political protection, called refugee status. They didn't go to Gambia because many of them lied that they had problems with President Jammeh and the APRC government. And therefore, if they went back to the Gambia under President Jammeh and the APRC government, they'll be killed by President Jammeh's government or the APRC's government. So therefore, they didn't go to Gambia. They are on humanitarian protection. Some of them have gone on to get their green cards. Some of them to gone on to become Swedish citizens, British citizens, Danish citizens, Norwegian citizens. They've got their documentation. Some of them didn't. When President Jammeh left in January 2017, yeah, all of these people flooded back to the Gambia. They went back to the Gambia. Why didn't the government of Adama Barrow shoot and kill them? Because they are on refugee status. Why? Why didn't Adama Barrow kill them? Why didn't the Senegalese army kill them? Why didn't ECOMOG kill them in the Gambia? Because they are on refugee status. Or their refugee status was transformed, yeah, into American citizenship or British citizenship or Swedish citizenship. So these Gambian refugees that they call Senegalese refugees, I know they had Gambian citizenship. I don't know whether they're on refugee status, but they had Gambian documentation that confirmed that they were Gambian citizens at the times of their deaths. And they're definitely unarmed civilians. Even if they are refugee status, they had a problem with Abdou Diouf's government, which was the government before Abdoulaye Wade. Abdoulaye Wade came for 10 years, he left. They had problems with Abdoulaye Wade's government. So therefore, when Macky Sall came, they were supposed to be safe to go back to Senegal because they had problems with Abdoulaye Wade's government or Abdou Diouf's government. So they crossed over to Senegal. Why did they kill them? But if the drone had facilities or ability to tell that these people were on humanitarian protection, and I know they are lying. These are NPP people like Sehum Balo, like Demba Sabali, like Abba Sanyang, like Lantombon Tamba, like other people who are eating from the trough, pecking like chicken from the NPP trough. Because that's what they do. Nobody believes in Adama Barrow in the Gambia. Nobody thinks he's got ability. Nobody thinks he's got competence to run the Republic of the Gambia. They're all gone in there to peck from this trough, to peck the grains like little starving, emaciated chicken. That's what they done it for. And they're talking. I'll play Lantombong's audio. You hear what he's saying. And the chief of Buyam, who was basically installed by Adama Barrow. And I know very well he's also another incompetent chap. Because another incompetent chief would have come out straight away after these incidents and deliver those spurious audios of his with facts that haven't been determined, not confirmed. He was not there. He was not at the scene of the shooting. He wasn't at the village when the shooting took place. He was told by somebody who told somebody. And the story, account of events change when it goes from somebody to somebody via word of mouth. The chief relied on word of mouth, probably concocted stories to tell the nation. And then the Gambian media houses started quoting the chief. How many Gambian refugees living in England, United States, Scandinavian countries went to the Gambia in 2017 when President Jammeh left? Lots of them. Did they get shot and killed? No. Should they be killed? No. In fact, the TRRC of the Gambia said, even the rebels that came to kill Gambian soldiers in Farafenni, killed Gambian soldiers in Kanifing, attacked State House in 2014, and in between those, the 11/11 attackers of 2004, who wanted to kill President Jammeh and the families of the ministers of the military junta. The TRRC of the Gambia, the Truth, Reconciliation, Reparation Commission of the Gambia, said those people shouldn't have been killed. They shouldn't have been tortured because the Geneva Convention doesn't accept it. But today, it's the same people who ran the TRRC in the Gambia, the same media houses who've been publishing TRRC findings and sittings and testimonies, the same people who are saying that those people, Gambian citizens who crossed over to Senegal, were killed. They are on refugee status, so therefore they should not have been killed. The killing is legal. Or they belittled their lives because they're on refugee status and went to Senegal. But they're clearly Gambian citizens. They got Gambian documentations. They got Gambian ID cards. They got Gambian passports. They got many other things that confirm that they're Gambian citizens. Their status was regularized as Gambian citizens. The same former hustlers who were lying against President Jammeh, lying against the Republic of the Gambia, committing treason, inciting violence in the Gambia while they were sitting in the United States, United Kingdom, and their Western countries, are the same people today who are saying that the killing of these people was justified. They belittled them. Humanitarian protection gives Adama Barrow even more responsibility to protect the lives of these people. They had problems with Abdou Diouf's government. They had problems with Abdoulaye Wade's government. So therefore, when Macky Sall came, if they crossed over to Senegal, they should not be killed. Same way, all these people who run Gambian online media houses were refugees in the United States. They were refugees in the United Kingdom. When they went back to the Gambia in 2017, they were still on their refugee status. Adama Barrow's government should have shot and killed them? No. The Gambia government spokesman, Ibrahima G. Sankare, was a refugee in the United States. He got his status in the United States via refugee status. He came to Gambia soon after President Jammeh left. Should they have shot the obese guy and killed him? The overweight guy like Demba Sabali was also in the United States and came back. Should they have shot and killed him? No. Should they have shot and killed Adama Barrow, a former hustler in Germany, when he went back to the Gambia? He went to Germany and declared himself a refugee and was deported back to the Gambia. Should President Jammeh have killed him when he was deported? When he came to the United Kingdom, Adama Barrow, who knows what status he came here with? Should President Jammeh kill him? No. The ignorance within our society, the peddling of falsehood just because of one's interest. You want to go and get your rice from Adama Barrow. You are being paid by taxpayers. We pay Demba Sabali. We pay Lantom Bontamba. We pay Abasanyang. We pay Ibrahima G. Sankare. We pay all these Dusano. We pay all these people who are today, Sehumbalo. We pay all these people to feed themselves, to feed their families. Phony people are part of the people who are feeding their families. Useless people. We're feeding their families. They're hopeless. They can only work for Adama Barrow and earn their living because Demba Sabali was a failed American hustler. Adama Barrow was a failed German and English hustler. Ibrahima G. Sankara was a failed US hustler. Lantom Bungus failed himself. Abasanyang is jumping from one incumbent to the other. He had all the privileges under President Jammeh. He had to stand up in Fonyi and tell Fonyi people, where were you over the last 22 years? He knows where they were in the last 22 years because he was one of the beneficiaries of the President Jammeh government. The biggest beneficiary. They can stand up now. If these people wanted to help Barrow. Sorry guys, wait 1 second. Give me a second, please. If these people truly wanted to help Adama Barrow, they would have said to Adama Barrow, okay, Fonyi people, we can hear your cries. We admit that the government of Senegal and our government are killing your citizens. We are so sorry with what's happening. We'll take steps to alleviate the suffering. We'll look at what else can be done. And there's a lot that can be done. And ECOWAS needs to do that immediately. There are separate armies in ECOWAS, in Okomog, in the Gambia, ECOMIG in the Gambia. Take Senegalese forces away from the enemy front line, MFDC, because right now they're facing each other, and in between those face-offs are the Gambian population, the Gambian livelihoods, Gambian properties. Now Gambians are dying because of this face-off between the Senegalese army, which was given a platform to attack the rebels from Gambia by Adama Barrow, aiding and abetting war crimes, because no state should give another state a platform to attack the other across the border. But even if you do, unarmed civilians should not be killed deliberately, like is happening in the Gambia right now. Adama Barrow is aiding and abetting this war crime that Gambian citizens are suffering from. Lives are being lost thanks to Adama Barrow. This must be discontinued. It must end immediately. ECOMOG has soldiers from Nigeria, soldiers from Ghana. Therefore, those soldiers can be sent to Fonyi and they'll have no problems with the MFDC. Take the Senegalese one, bring them to the Combos away from the Kartong border, away from Som, away from Kafuta, put them in the North Bank region, Nyomi, Jokadu, Ilyasa, Badibu, Sami, Salum, all those places, put them in that region. We don't have problems with that. The foes will be far apart. There will be no confrontation. But we know why they're doing this. Because Senegal, this has always been their interest, to use Gambia as a launch pad. That's always been their interest. And Adama Barrow, unfortunately, has no capacity. He's a school dropout. He sleeps more often when he's at meetings than paying attention to what's been discussed, than paying attention to the papers that are given to him to sign. Adama Barrow is committing treason, high treason. His bodyguards are Senegalese. His state house is Senegalese. Somebody died next to Adama Barrow's prison, next to Adama Barrow's bedroom, sorry. Somebody died next to Adama Barrow's bedroom at State House, Alassana Colley, 36-year-old, died mysteriously, killed by somebody possibly. Adama Barrow said nothing. He never spoke about it. He never mentioned it. And we don't know whether they're investigating it. They didn't investigate Adama Barrow's Haruna Jatta's death. The Gambia government spokesman released a press release today. Never spoke about the investigation of Haruna Jatta. He jumped straight away to mention that the 3 people who were killed by Adama Barrow's government and Macky Sall's government, the 3 unarmed civilians, which makes it 4, because 2 weeks ago they killed another unarmed civilian called Yankuba Baji. The Gambia government spokesman jumped straight from Haruna Jatta. He didn't say why they didn't investigate. He just mentioned his name and skipped. Haruna Jatta, by all information that we have, is a Gambian citizen killed by Senegalese soldiers, illegal occupying Senegalese soldiers. They are not ECOMOG, according to the ECOMOG spokesman. They are not ECOMOG, according to the former Minister of Interior who brought them to Gambia, Mai Ahmed Fati. They are not ECOMOG soldiers when they caught them sleeping with people's wives, according to the ECOMOG spokesman or the head of the ECOMOG mission in the Gambia. Ibrahima Sankare didn't say. He mentioned the Fonyi managing directors who were dismissed and the Fonyi army officers who were forcefully retired from the army. He didn't say whether the government is investigating it or not investigating. He skimmed over it and jumped straight to the fact that the 3 Gambians who were killed on Friday night, Friday the 9th of December, were not Gambian citizens. They were Senegalese citizens killed on Senegalese soil. But these guys were residents of the Gambia and they got Gambian citizenship status. Just like Ibrahima Sankare, who was a refugee in the United States, but got his permanent status or residential status in the United States. Just like Demba Sabali. Just like other people who are in Adama Barrow's government, Alkali Conte and others. Barrow himself was a former refugee in Germany. He didn't succeed in putting his claim. They deported him. He came to the United Kingdom, I don't know on what status. He went back or he was deported. So what? We should kill refugees? So what? We should kill unarmed civilians? A conventional army, cowards, like Senegalese army. Big cowards. They know where MFDC is. They'll not go and confront MFDC, but they'll shoot and kill unarmed Gambian civilians. This is against the Geneva Convention. This is against the rules of engagement in conflict zones. Exclusion zones always have pre-existing villages, towns, and cities. People's lives don't just vanish because they're in conflict zones. They don't shoot Kashmirians or Indian citizens or Pakistani citizens who are unarmed. Nagorno-Karabakh, they don't shoot them who are unarmed. Even Israel, that's perpetrating apartheid in Palestine. They'll shoot people they suspect. They don't shoot people going in and out of Israel getting merchandise. unarmed people, just because they got 10 kilos of weed, you shoot and kill them. With all of the brutality that Israel is meting out to the Palestinians, they don't do that. They don't kill the Kurdish people who are civilians between Turkey and the northern part of Syria, the Kurds, or the northern part of Iraq. They don't kill them because, oh, suddenly these villages have to vanish. These towns and cities have to vanish because these people have been there for 3,000 years or longer. You don't suddenly kill them. Those Fonyi villages are not going to disappear. The life that existed before the colonialists drew the line between Gambia and Senegal, they've been there for thousands of years before these borders popped up. You're telling them to disappear? You're telling the villages to disappear? That's what they're trying. They're displaced. Adama Barrow has over 10,000 victims in Fonyi alone. I've listed the ones this government killed. But I haven't listed the National Disaster Management Agency said 10,000, nearly 10,000 people in Fonyi were affected by the war on the 24th of January 2022, provoked by the Senegalese army. They claim they're a COMOC, but even if they're a COMOC, their mandate does not include internal policing of who's trafficking logs of wood, who's trafficking charcoal, who's trafficking basically other merchandise or commodities on Gambian soil. ECOMOG's mandate is to ensure there's no foreign aggression befalling the Republic of the Gambia. That's ECOMOG's mission. That's what they're there for. They're not there to police the internal goings on the Republic of the Gambia. That's not their function. But this illegal Senegalese contingent, 1 or 2 or 3 battalions, who are killing citizens of the Gambia, unarmed civilians of the Gambia, they must be pulled to book. Macky Sall and Adama Barrow will have a very unhappy ending if they do not turn their path. They need to detour their current trend. The current path they are taking is a path of destruction, which will find both of them incarcerated for a very long time for war crimes, for murders, cold-blooded murders of Gambian citizens, Gambian civilians. Where are they operating their drones from? We want to know. I have strong belief that these drones are being operated from Gambian soil. Gambia is being used as a reconnaissance platform, surveillance platform, an attack launchpad for the Senegalese army. Something that is against the rules of engagement, war crimes, against the Geneva Convention. Or you're telling me that, oh, because they're refugees, they crossed there. No, they had problems with Ablawad's government, Senegalese government. They crossed there now under Macky Sall, they shouldn't be killed. But even if they had problems with Macky Sall's government, if you think a drone can zoom in and know who these people are, you don't have to kill them. All you have to do is send intelligence information. If they're drugs farmers, cannabis, we're not talking about hard drugs because there's no cocaine manufacturing facilities in the Gambia as far as we know. All the farming that they're accusing these people of is weed. If you're convinced, like the chief of Fonyi Councillor, Ali Nyasi, who came out to insinuate that these people were involved in some drugs activities, weed farming. That's the insinuation. He didn't say, he said what they found on their clothes will be a topic for another day. That's what the chief of Fonyi Councillor said. And I know he's an incompetent chief. I've known him from childhood. We grew up together. I can tell you. When I heard he was made chief, I was shocked. But then the evidence of it is coming out now. We're all seeing it. And it's being widely quoted as the credible guy, the go-to guy. Somebody who was not at the scene. He didn't know what happened. He took word of mouth. He didn't wait for the investigations to take place. He came out. Gambia government spokesman relied on his information. NPP relied on his information without an investigation. Hearsay is being presented to the Gambian people and to the world as absolute facts. And that's absolute buffoonery of the highest order. The chief of Fonyi Councillor, Ali Nyasi, you must reconsider your utterances to the public. The stuff you supply to the general public, you have to take your time. Think about it. Think deep. You are a people's representatives and your people's security your people's welfare, your people's well-being, their lives, their livelihoods is more important than the Adama Barrow government that you're supporting so that you can get your rice grains. Be careful. You're looking after people. These people's interests should be your overriding thought, your overriding activities on a daily basis. Never go against your people. As your brother Amul Nyasi, Honorable Amul Nyasi found out. Never, ever, ever go against your people because they are the reason you existed. All right? They are the reason you exist as a chief of Fonyi Councillor. They are the reason a member of parliament of Fonyi Councillor exists. Be careful. You already seen the results of going against your people. All the Fonyi MPs, because they went against their people, were removed from their positions. Clean. No foul play. You're trying a very perilous path, the chief of Fonyi Councillor, Ali Nyasi. You're my brother. Be careful. Think about your people. This is not about NPP. This is not APS. I know you're bitter with the fact that your brother lost the National Assembly seat. I know you're angry. And I know that's why you got the seat, because Barrow thought the former chief of Fonyi Councillor, Biram Kamara, was not supporting the NPP agenda. That's why they removed him and made you a chief. Fine. You can have that title. I don't have problems with that. But you're there because of your people. Be careful. Now, because of your utterances and the evidence you pulled out without investigation, probably fake evidence of these people refugee status, maybe those refugee cards are true. But people do go from temporary refugee status to full citizenship in all the countries in the world. In Italy, in Germany, in the United States, in Norway, in Sweden, in Denmark, in Belgium, in Netherlands, people go from refugee status to full citizenship. It's not illegal. It's a path to citizenship. It's within the laws of almost all countries in the world, except Israel and others, who make it very difficult for somebody to be a citizen of their country. Let's be careful. Our people come before us. If we're representatives of our people, let's fight the interests of our people. And right now, that interest is to keep the citizens of Fonyi Councillor, Fonyi Bondali, Fonyi Jaro, Fonyi Bintang, Fonyi Berefet. We want to keep them alive and safe. If the drone can zoom in and see these people, the drone can send intelligence information to Gambia Police Force, Gambia Armed Forces to apprehend these people. You don't shoot and kill unarmed civilians. That's criminality of the highest order. And for those of you who don't know Gambia very well, and the MFDC separatist movement very well, I'll tell you today, there are rebel movement borders with Kombo, there are rebel movement borders with Fonyi, there are rebel movement borders with Kiang, there are rebel movement borders with Jara, there are rebel movement borders with Fuladu, but they're not shooting and killing people in any of those regions except Fonyi. Consistently, because we have got our own traitors from Fonyi. I mentioned them before. I don't want to mention their names again. Who are selling their souls, who are selling their own citizens, who are selling their own brothers and sisters just because they want rice grains from Adama Barrow. You're eating and feeding and drinking and sleeping from our money, Fonyi people's money. Because without us, the taxpayers from Fonyi, you will not be in your positions. You will be broke, you'll be dead because you don't have any other skill to look after yourself but being the griots, being the praise singers, being the lying dogs, being the attack dogs of the NPP government. That's all you are. You have no dignity, you have no credibility, you have no sympathy, you have no empathy, you have no care for human lives because you just made it look like because these kids were refugees, it's okay to shoot and kill them in cold blood. That's what you've done. And the ECOWAS must intervene. We will write to ECOWAS. Thank you to the MPs from Fonyi. They call us the No Alliance movements because we have a conscience. We care about the lives and livelihoods of Gambian citizens, not just Fonyi. We care about what is happening in the Gambia, our loss of sovereignty, our loss of territory. We care about that. Call us No Alliance movement. We're happy with that because it shows that we care. We love Gambia. We love APRC. We love President Jammeh. We don't want to live on occupied land, a land that's occupied by illegal foreign forces from Senegal. They shouldn't be killing our citizens. So you're telling me, you that's not in the No Alliance movement, you that's not in the APRC, President Jammeh, you're happy to see your brothers and sisters being killed like that by Senegalese army. That's what Demba Sabali and Abasanyang and Lantombong and Ibrahima G. Sankare were insinuating. Let me play Lantombong's audio. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah? You hear what he was saying. Disgusting. You listen to him. Let me find this audio. Who sent it to me yesterday? I'll find this audio. You listen to him. Making it look like it's okay for those people to die because they got refugee status. Yeah? Give me a minute. Somebody sent it to me and I listened to it twice. I'm trying to figure out who did. You guys give me a minute, please. Let me find this audio and I'll play it. This is somebody who was supporting Adama Barrow, by the way, so that Adama Barrow can kill people. Same with Demba Sabali. Yeah? I'll find the audio. I don't think I deleted it. Who sent it to me last night? Somebody sent me this audio to listen to. Oh, here. I found the audio. So you guys listen to the former Chief of Defense Staff of the Republic of the Gambia. We've all heard what Demba Sabali said. That's public knowledge now. We all heard what Abasanyan said when they went to face Fonyi people. Instead of reassuring Fonyi people that we're taking steps to make sure you guys are safe, you can support who you want. I don't mind. Support NPP all you want. Your democratic right. I know you're supporting NPP, not because of Barrow's capability or that Barrow is transforming the Gambia. In fact, Gambia, according to what Demba Sabali and Abasanyan said, that ECOMOG is here for Gambia's security reasons. Gambia is more insecure now. The crime rates in the Gambia are higher now than at any time in the last 30 years. Yeah, so listen, let me play Lantombong's audio so you guys can hear it. People sent it to me so you can know what this guy is all about. So what they're doing is like Membe Caring, it's like Sehumbalo and the NPP folks. What they're insinuating is because these people are refugees, it's okay. Don't make any noise about it. Don't make a fuss about it. Because they're black people, they're Africans, they're Gambians, they're Senegalese, it's okay to kill them. Yeah? That's what they're doing. The same with the chief of Fonyi Kasala. You listen. I don't care what party. You go and support Barrow. Support NPP. I never mentioned these people's names until now. Because now, I'm really angry. I've seen the position these people are taking. You can kill their brothers and sisters as long as they can get grains to peck, to eat from. Because without the government, these people will not be able to eat. You listen.
Okay, good. What happened was these people are not from the Gambia, they're from Casamance. They are Casamance refugees. During that turbulence in Casamance, they ran and came into the Gambia. So that was how they got the Gambian documents. Niajube is aliens ID card. The aliens, that is non-Gambians, they have their different ID card from the normal ID card issued to a Gambian citizen. So that is the difference. So meaning that they are aliens. That's why they are carrying the aliens ID card. That's why they displayed all the 3 aliens ID cards. So Abole Nyama. They are, they are not Gambians actually. And everything happened.
Okay, so they're not Gambians, so it's okay for Senegalese army to kill them in cold blood. And this is false information, by the way, because they hold Gambian documents that confirm that they are Gambian citizens. But listen to it. Continue.
Inside Casamance. Everything happened inside Casamance. Because
okay, it happened inside Casamance. Lantombong, you're in Russia right now. Yeah? As Gambia's deputy ambassador. Should they kill you there? If they kill you in Russia, it's okay, right? We should forget about you? No. Because Lantombong, we care about you. I'm your brother, I care about you. But the path you've been taking since 2021 is a wrong path, and you found out, look at where you put your people in now. And he's still trying to justify, oh, they were killed on Senegalese soil. Is this supposed to happen? So because of that, we should accept that these people were killed on Senegalese soil, that they were in Gambia as refugees. Continue.
Listen to the statement from the chief of Biam, Fonyi
Uh-huh.
Council.
I mentioned about the chief of Fonyi Kasala. You see how they're all quoting the chief who was not at the scene, who didn't know exactly what's happened, who lied about their citizenship status? Listen, this is why the chief should be very careful. He's already created a situation for the people in his constituency, the people in Fonyi, and the people of the Republic of the Gambia. And we've got documents to prove these people have Gambian birth certificates, they have Gambian ID cards, and they might have Gambian passport. They didn't travel overseas because Gambians only look for passports when they're traveling overseas most of the time. Okay? So he's quoting the chief of Fonyi Councillor, who erroneously stated many other things. But even if those people had drugs, it's not a death sentence. They should not have been killed. You listen to Lantombo.
Everything is clear there. So these people have nothing to do with the Gambia. They have nothing with the yellow information. Now float a first time. Those who first got the information, for them, they assume that these are.
These people have everything to do with the Gambia. They have classmates in the Gambia. They went to primary school in the Gambia. They went to secondary school in the Gambia. Some of them went to senior secondary school. They have classmates. They grew up with them. After 7 years of living in the Gambia as a refugee, they could have changed their status, which they probably did and became Gambian citizens, all right? And they got Gambian documents to prove that they're Gambian citizens. You understand? Ignorance is a disease. Lack of experience is a disease. Talking about public activities without considering the law is unheard of. When something happens which is national or government or public, think about what the law says about these things first before you open your mouth to talk. Listen.
Gambians. And they did not give the clear story. But the chief, who is the government representative there, I think he arranged everything. He got first-hand information. He arranged
No. The first-hand information is for people who witnessed exactly what happened. Where the shooting happened, when they picked up their bodies first. All these ID cards could have been planted on them. Who knows? I'm not saying that's what happened. The chief does not have first-hand information. The chief took word of mouth. I've got people who told me today that the chief was not actually there. He was told, oh, they picked up these people. When they were preparing their bodies for the mortuary, they found some items on them. What items? The ID cards? The ID cards are not illegal. Refugee ID cards are not illegal. I could have had refugee ID card in the United Kingdom 15, 16, 20 years ago. And then I changed that to indefinite leave to remain. And then I became a citizen of the United Kingdom. Thankfully, for me, everything that I got was from my hard work and sweat and ingenuity. I didn't go through any of that path. I didn't marry a British citizen to get British citizenship. I didn't go through the refugee status. I didn't have to lie about President Jammeh to get my papers. All right? So therefore, the chief of Fonyi Councillor, no matter what they found, as long as it's not guns, it's not a death sentence. They shouldn't have killed them. But continue to listen to Lantom Bontamba.
To go and pick them from that border area, that village, to take them to.
So, Lantombong said they have nothing to do with the Gambia. If they have nothing to do with the Gambia and they were shot and killed on Senegalese soil, why are they bringing the dead bodies to the Gambia? Why are they bringing those 3 dead bodies back to the Gambia? Because they're Gambian citizens. They're known as Gambians. They've only known Gambia as home. They were bringing them back to their home, bringing them back to Karunur, bringing the other one back to Casamance, bringing the one 2 weeks ago back to Jifonga. If they have nothing to do with Gambia, you see how people talk. If you're not properly educated, you've never been taught about good research methods when you're doing your degree. And I'm not saying you have to have a degree to be able to get education. Education is actually intellect. But if you don't have intellect, you don't have academic research methods, this is how you talk. You contradict yourself several times. And inconsistency is a sign of lies. This is what the Barrow government, the Minister of Interior said, these are Senegalese forces, they're not part of a COMOG. A COMOG PRO and the head of a COMOG said, these are Senegalese forces, they're not part of a COMOG. The government of the Gambia said, we're renewing our COMOG mandate. The Minister of Defense right now, Mr. Njai, said, we cannot remove a COMOG from our country. It's only a COMOG who will be able to remove these people from our country. Yeah? So, who is lying? Who is lying? Inconsistency. Ibrahim Sankara, government spokesman, Ibrahim G. Sankara will say one thing today. Tomorrow he'll say something else. He'll say something else tomorrow. The day after he'll say something else. The same thing with Demba Sabali. The same thing with Abasanyang. The same thing with Dusano. The same thing with Sehumbalo. Sehumbalo was the first one in the United States who stood up to protest against Adam Barrow's government for corruption. The same person today is advising Adama Barrow. They're telling Adama Barrow not to make a statement on the Fonyi matter. They're telling Adama Barrow not to take steps on the Fonyi matter because there's no problem in Fonyi. Lanton Bong says, who's another Barrow advisor from Russia, telling Adama Barrow, these people have nothing to do with the Gambia. But their dead bodies are being brought to the Gambia. Why did they take them to Ziguinchor or Bignona? Or take them to Jarome somewhere? Or take them to Dakar? Why are they bringing them to the Gambia? Let me play the last end of his clip.
The bodies to BM Hospital, and then from there they were taken to Banjul. So that is the clear story. So I hope you got the full story now. We'll make it attend. Thank you very much. All the best, Yaman. Okay, thank you, brother.
All right, so they got the full fake story, the full fat fake story. That's what they got. It's got nothing to do with the truth. But even if these people were refugees, should he kill them like that? Breaking the Geneva Convention, committing war crimes, Macky Sall and Adama Barrow's government, and they must face it. This is the information I have today to share with Gambian people, and that's why I'm here on this YouTube Live. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will come back again in the near future when new information comes to light. But as far as we know, 4 Gambian citizens have been killed in cold blood. 2 were seriously injured and required medical treatment and admitted in hospital. And that's Adama Barrow and Macky Sall's government committing these crimes on Gambian soil. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. That's the end of my YouTube Live today. Thank you.